On News 5 at 4, a Colorado dad says more needs to be done to stop child predators from targeting children on dating apps, so he's taking matters into his own hands.
In what some are calling vigilante justice, this father poses as an underage teen to lure men on the internet and then live streams the videos on YouTube when they show up in person.
As chief investigative reporter Eric Ross uncovered, his sting operations have helped police make multiple arrests all across the state.
A window washer turned child predator catcher.
This is just my iPhone 12. I use this for my live audio. I put it on a little tripod, and that's what I kind of carry. This is my GoPro. I wear this around my chest.
Armed with cameras and safety vests, Thomas Fellows and a small team gear up every day to expose alleged child predators. He uses modified pictures of himself and a female decoy to sting both gay and straight men reportedly looking for sexual encounters with children as young as 13 years old.
I do a dating app. It's called Grindr. I never reach out to them. They reach out to me first. They ask me my age, and I tell them I'm 13 years old. Immediately, I tell them I'm 13 years old, and they are supposed to block me and have me banned.
But that almost never happens, according to Thomas. In fact, he says most men have no problem quickly advancing the conversation, hoping to meet the underage decoy. How quickly after the conversation starts do these men want to meet up?
Sometimes 30 minutes. Sometimes it's a couple days. Sometimes it's, conversation, nude photos, meeting. Literally within 30 minutes, I've met several of these guys.
That quick?
That quick, yes.
When the men arrive for those casual encounters, they're met by Thomas and his camera crew.
Have a seat. What are you doing here, man?
I was doing here?
What are you doing here?
Well, I was on Grindr.
Okay.
And I met someone on it.
Okay. How old was that someone?
He said he was 13.
Okay. How old are you?
14. I'm 24.
What were you going to do with a 13-year-old if I wasn't here? Be honest.
I mean, I wouldn't have done anything they didn't want me to.
So if he wanted to have sex, would you have done it?
I might have. I don't know.
What's wrong with you, bro?
Do you ever fear for your safety? I mean, you're showing up with a camera. Do you ever wonder if these guys are showing up with a gun or a knife?
Yeah, I do. We've had some situations when they did have weapons, but honestly, I think we have a little bit of the benefit because we let them know we're not law enforcement. We let them know that we can get them counseling and some kind of help. Who are you here to meet?
Tommy.
Tommy, how old is Tommy?
He was 14.
Okay.
That's what he told me.
He told you he was 14? Okay, how old are you?
I'm in my mid-30s.
Some encounters, let's just say, are just plain strange.
I was hoping to sniff his feet.
You were hoping to sniff his feet? What are you here doing, brother?
Others don't know what to do when they're confronted.
And you said you wanted to in the porta potty?
This man drives off, while some choose to flee the old-fashioned way.
When I can get online and within 120 days catch 90 guys, there's a problem.
Tell me about some of the excuses these men make when you confront them with a camera. I mean, what do they tell you?
Yeah, they definitely tell me the same thing, a lot of them. The first thing they say is it's always their first time.
Take this grandfather, for example. He thought he was showing up to meet a 13-year-old girl named Cece.
How old was Cece? The more honest you with me you are, the better. You know what I mean? How old was she?
She was 13.
13, okay. Is that against the law?
Yeah.
Do you know? And you're married?
Yeah.
And does your wife know that you talk on that chatting website or no?
No, I only got on there like 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay.
That was a bad idea.
A bad idea is right. The conversation moves indoors to the bait house where Thomas keeps asking questions.
You've never done this before?
No.
Never.
Oh.
You knew you were meeting a 15-year-old today, right?
Yes.
Okay, how often do you do that?
Believe it or not, it'd be the first time.
Okay. This is your first time ever meeting an underage boy?
Yes.
Doesn't matter what, it's always their first time. A lot of times they'll say that, they just were gonna be a friend. They were gonna tell them, you shouldn't be doing this. Even though they sent all these, several nasty pictures and they wanted to do all these nasty things, they say that's to build their trust. When they got there, they were gonna basically teach them what they're doing is wrong and kind of scold them and send them back home.
Do you ever believe them?
No, not at all. They're 100%. I mean, if they were there to help them, they wouldn't send the graphic pictures they send. They wouldn't talk in detail what they're gonna do to the 13 or 14-year-old child. So you wanna pay $200 to have sex with a 15-year-old?
That's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy. It is crazy. And you're telling me you've never done this before? Never. It's the first time.
First time.
Sadly, Thomas says some of the men he confronts admit what they are doing is wrong, but still did it anyway.
How old is the girl you're here to meet today? 13.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old are you?
52.
52 years old. Okay. Is it okay to meet a 13-year-old when you're 52?
No, not really, no.
Out of the last 35 sting operations Thomas and his team conducted, he says about 22 ended with an arrest.
So it's worth it to me to get out there and maybe stop this from happening to even one child.
And one of those recent arrests occurred in Woodland Park, where Thomas confronted a man who is currently awaiting trial for allegedly doing the exact same thing just a little over a year ago. We'll show you that bust, plus learn what motivated Thomas to get into this line of work in the first place. This story and more takedowns tonight on News 5 at 10 o'clock. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross.